Hey, Nerd Takes.
Nerd Takes.
Justin, Jon.
What's up?
We're here to talk to you about Pearl Jam St. Louis 2022. So this was a show that was at Enterprise Center on September 18th, 2022. We had two of our good friends come in town and see it with us.
And see it with us in separate seats because they had to buy their tickets on secondary. But that's okay. They were there. They were in the building.
We also brought two other people with us. I brought my wife, Jana.
And I brought Jordan.
Yes, a lot of fun. Want to really quickly comment on this. This show was originally scheduled for the spring of 2020. Obviously, something happened in the world. You may have heard of it. COVID got that canceled. The funniest part about this whole thing, though, is that I didn't get a single email or notifications about the show until January of this year, when all of a sudden they were like, by the way, show has been rescheduled for September.
Right. You got one when it was canceled, and then crickets for a
There
year
might have
and a
been an
half.
email that was like, we'll let you know when it's rescheduled. And then year and a half, 2 years later,
Right.
here it is. Okay. Anyway, tell us about the current band members, Lambert.
All right. So we've got Jeff Ament. He's plays bass and backing vocals. He's been in the band since 1990. Stone Gossard, rhythm guitar and lead guitar and backing vocals. Also, original member, 1990. Mike McCready, lead guitar, backing vocals since 1990. Obviously, Eddie Vedder, lead vocals, rhythm guitar, original member. And then Matt Cameron, drums, percussion, and backing vocals. He joined the band in 1998. And, well, that's the current lineup.
It's pretty shocking, actually, that there have been that many people still in the band that's a long time to be in a rock and roll band like this. Even the 1998
Right.
people who joined. That's
right, yeah, even
almost 25 years.
Yeah, even
right?
Matt Cameron, who joined in 98, that's a long time.
Yeah. Okay, well, so here's the set list, and I want to play a game here.
All
We'll
right.
both do it.
Let's
so
do it.
with your left hand, raise it when this is a song that you like kind of quasi know. Right hand is, yeah, I love this song. I was waiting.
I sang along to this song.
I sang along to this song. Okay, here we go. Here's the set list. Of the Girl, Footsteps, Sleeping by Myself, Retrograde, Last Exit, Life Wasted, Dissident. Now, for a fun game, I'm going to now raise my hand when we get to a song that my wife had ever even heard of, or at least could sing more than 3 sentences to. Whoever Said, I Am Mine, Corduroy, Glorified G, Once, Even Flow, and then Elderly Woman Behind the Counter in a Small Town. Then there were 3 more songs, and then the 2 encores.
I knew Go.
Yeah, well, that's why I said there were 3 more songs. All right, fine. I'll read the last few. Sad, then Dance of the Clairvoyants, and then Go.
Yeah.
The first encore was State of Love and Trust, Breath, Black, and Alive. It's a hell of a good encore.
That's a good one.
And then the second encore was Yellow Ledbetter.
Yes.
What were your reviews? What were your thoughts going in?
Thoughts going in was, I think, probably you kind of summed it up at the very beginning. Like, we've been waiting for this show for 2.5 years. We saw them in Chicago in 2018, and they were awesome.
Awesome.
In Wrigley Field. So that was the perfect venue because, Eddie's from just outside Chicago. So
Right.
it was a great show. Pascal came in town for that too. So I'd just been really excited to see the show, and honestly really excited for Jordan to see them because she was a big Pearl Jam fan, and she had been looking forward to this for a really long time, has not seen them before. This was her first time. So just kind of, this is finally happening kind of attitude.
Yeah, I was in the same boat, and Jana had saw it with us in Chicago as well, loved it. And even though she's not like the biggest Pearl Jam fan, nowhere near as what fans we are, she was equally as excited. Now during the show,
I had one thought during the show.
What was your thought?
Their catalog is a lot bigger than I remembered.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that this would have been a perfect show for someone this is like their number one band.
Right.
This is not my number one band. Maybe it would have been in, I don't know, 1998. Is that fair?
No, yeah.
2001.
Well,
maybe?
and I was thinking about this because I knew we were doing this. It's like, that was the Pearl Jam that I really listened to. It was the early stuff. It
Right.
was the stuff while we were in middle school and high school, and just kind of like growing up with that music, but then not realizing that they have made a ton of records since then. And you hear some songs every now and then, but you're not listening to those albums like we were when we were growing up.
I listened to 10 like religiously.
Exactly. You listen to Verses,
Vitalogy.
Right.
And that's kind of where where it ends.
Yield,
a little bit.
And then that's pretty much where it ends.
Okay.
For me.
So thoughts afterwards. I think that, again, if you were a Pearl Jam aficionado, this was like your thing. If you were kind of like a casual listener, I don't think you would have maybe enjoyed it as much as now.
You would have enjoyed like the second half.
Yes, really, like halfway through it, and the encores were like hard hitting. Like, okay, now I'm in it, and all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, it's over.
Right.
And they put on a great show.
They did.
Just to be clear.
And one more thought during. It's actually going back. Mike McCready. I didn't realize how good of a guitarist he actually is. He's really good. He is a talented guitarist, and I guess you just don't. Maybe again for some of the songs that I listen to, you kind of hear it, but you don't really hear it. But like. He was just allowed to kind of just go off and just take tangents and take solos, and like I was surprised. I was like, wow, he's really good.
He is really good. I think it's also the Vedder. He's just his voice and just his presence is just overpowering. You sometimes forget to listen to
and he
what
still
else
has
is
a great and Vedder just still has a great voice.
Well, so let's give him shout out too or props because I think that the show that they put on. He's very engaging with the audience. He tells little anecdotes, stories, like has cool things to talk about. Last time they were in St. Louis, like it wasn't just I'm a robot. What city am I in? Here we go. Show, right?
Yeah. Banter. Phil City name in, saying the same thing every single time.
You can tell he has some type of reverence for like St. Louis in the area.
It's close,
right?
So. From where I grew up,
Let's do some nerd take rankings. And just to remind you what we rank on expectations. So were our expectations met? Rewatchability, would we go to this experience again? What are our feelings? And just the overall just vibe. So we've got our Luke Skywalker scale. You go first.
I'm going Stormtrooper Luke.
An 8?
An 8.
Wow.
It was again like... It's on me for not knowing a lot of the catalog, but they were, like you said, they were high energy the entire time.
Yeah.
There was the back and forth. They crammed in as many songs as they possibly could into that time frame. They didn't play a lot, like it wasn't a greatest hits, but then again, like with that catalog, they're going to want to, kind of wander back and forth between greatest hits and, what some would consider deep cuts. But no, overall, I think it was great. Jordan, we were talking during the show, or maybe after the show, and she said next time we're sitting down there, pointing down to like front row, like because they had like a pit. It wasn't. I mean, they weren't moshing because there was a bunch of like, people our age down there, and then the seats started. But she said, if they come in town next time, I want to see them down there, and I want to be standing the whole time. I was like, all right, I'll do that with you.
Well, you enjoy that. From a performance perspective, I think they did an excellent job. It was entertaining, but just from a set list perspective, I get that they want to play part of their library, but this almost like purposefully jumped the shark in my opinion. Like they almost intentionally didn't play a song that was even like well known
remotely
until 2/3 the way through the set, just to almost, I don't know if it's making a statement, but they're just like, we're not going to do that.
Except for the group that was like one section over from us and they were standing the whole time and they knew everything. That group.
Yeah.
That this concert was for those that group
guys,
right there.
Those guys and girls, I'm sure loved it. For me, it wasn't necessarily. I was just disappointed. I think I had maybe because if I hadn't gone to the Pearl Jam show in Chicago, my expectations were high.
That was awesome.
And they were a big time letdown. Not to say you shouldn't see Pearl Jam in concert, but this particular show was not my bag. So I'm giving it I just went into Datashi Station to pick up some power converters, a 4.
Wow.
And actually, I almost gave it. I just kissed my sister. You kind of talked me out of a 3, so I'm bumping up to a 4, just to not be so harsh. But
jeez,
those are my feelings. And
you heard it here first.
I'm sticking to it.
Justin hates Pearl Jam.
That's exactly what I said. All right. So, any other thoughts?
No. I mean, again. I think we looked up the Chicago show. They played 31 songs at that concert, and they had like 4 encores, and totally broke the noise ordinance around Wrigley because it was in Wrigley. So that's a hard one to beat. I will agree with you.
That one is a fucking Return of the Jedi.
That one was a good one.
For sure. All right. Well, until next time, that was Pearl Jam Nerd Takes. See you later.
See you.